good. It's the common good of us all that we are even wasting our time, rather than me going to my office or you doing your
100%.
things.
I mean, it's like when George Washington became our first president, he didn't want to go do that, but he realized the importance of having the proper leadership to get our country off the ground and to institute the Constitution and to get things in place. And so he understood the power, but leaders back then, they weren't in it for the money. Many of them were already wealthy and they already had everything
All of
they
them
needed.
were.
And so they didn't do it for the money. They did it because they knew the concept of the Constitution was a reality that they could make happen. And what we have here now is we're on the downslide. Like, this amazing country has been built, and now we have one party, one group thought just bringing us to our knees at this point, and everyone knows it, but people are afraid of change.
In
and
a way,
they're
that's
afraid of
similar to
saying
a
no.
monarchy.
It right, because people don't speak up, and eventually everyone's in jail and everyone's getting their heads cut off, and
Yeah, well.
and yeah. So you came from a situation where I think you said you worked for the government, and
In Mexico,
but you had to be
yeah.
part of the one party to be in that
Yeah,
government
it
role.
was part of the
So
rules.
they
yeah.
weren't listening to anyone else, and if you were to say speak up against them, you probably would have been fired.
Yeah, that's a perfect formula for mediocrity and incompetence.
100%.
So we have a lot of incompetent people,
We do.
you know, when we do not hold them accountable and we just let them be, and we're not asking, where are you getting the money to get all those resources for a campaign in a position that should be nonpartisan and that you shouldn't be running with the state. And I'm not only talking about one person. And when you are not in there to make friends, you're gonna have, hopefully, friends still.
Well, I'm
But
gonna have friends.
but it's going to have I mean, what's going to be your weight if you have 4 other people? Because a lot of these decisions that the board makes is because they vote among.
This is a great question, and I love telling the answer because you're right. There are 5 supervisors, and for anything to happen, 3 have to vote affirmatively on things. So here's what I have. I have almost 10 million people that live in LA County, and I believe most of them just want to have a safe life, a good life, an affordable life. And so of those 10 million people, I think that my ideas of less government, of more common sense, I think they're going to speak their minds to all 5 of us if we start listening. We need to start listening. And so once that happens, it doesn't matter about political parties anymore. It really comes down to common sense, what is best for LA County and its residents and its businesses and its taxpayers